I grew up in a broken home. I was an only child, and I was raised the first 8 years of my life by an elderly babysitter. My parents worked opposite hours, so I saw my mom on the weekends. They divorced when I was 4, so I saw mom on the weekends or on her days off. That left me pretty longing for a family, and I was lonely. My mom remarried when I was 9, and he adopted me, and we tried to make a go of it, but I was pretty resentful. The longing that I had for my mom became jealousy and bitterness, and that soon turned into rebellion, resentfulness, disobedience, sneaking out, looking for love in boyfriends, and by the age of 13 I started sacrificing my sexual purity in exchange for love and a commitment and a relationship. By the time I was 16, I was ready to do things my way, and I moved out with my high school boyfriend and into his family's home. And within 2 years, during my freshman year of junior college, I found out I was pregnant. Again, doing things my way, on October 6, 1990, I went to a clinic and went through an abortion. I remember going home that night thinking if those protesters were right and there was a God in heaven, that I was certainly going to hell. 6 weeks later, I went to the emergency room with complications. And a few hours later, as they brought the ultrasound down, a little hand went across the screen, and I was actually 3 months pregnant. The abortion didn't work. That was the moment I believed there was a God. I knew there was a God. I raised Rick as a single mom and was determined to do things differently than my parents did. I was determined to be successful and not a statistic. I was now motivated by the unconditional love of my son that I went back to school to finish my degree. I moved across country and back. I mended broken relationships with my parents. I even got married, and we had our lovely daughter, Sienna. And I was still lonely, still longing. I had tried going to church in and out of those years, thinking it would help, and I had heard of God and I had heard of Jesus, but it didn't seem to be what I needed to fix my problem. And somebody invited me to a women's conference being held at the Bible Church that I had attended on and off, and this woman spoke about her incredible love with her Savior. She went on to describe God's love, and that His love, it seemed to be everything I had longed for. That Christ would actually die for somebody like me. I remember breaking down in the front row, crying out for that love, crying out and realizing that my way had led to destruction and broken relationships, broken life. I wanted Christ. I knew that I had to turn from the way I was living, and I was so ready to. I was ready to give it up. I just wanted that kind of unconditional love and security that He had to offer. Christ has given me a desire to love those that I hated and to forgive as I have been forgiven. He's given me a desire to learn to be everything that He's created me to be, a wife and a mom. I love sharing what I've learned through all of this. I love sharing what I've learned with other women. I love my time with my Savior in the mornings. I love serving my family. Christ is giving me more than I've ever dreamed of.